Today we're tackling something pretty much everyone bumps into, getting exam questions right. You know that feeling, you've studied loads, put the hours in, but then you get the results and it's frustrating, like you didn't quite answer what they were really asking. If that sounds familiar, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to unpack a tried and tested way to make sure you understand the question, connect it to the scenario, and actually get the marks you deserve. Our insights today, they're mainly pulled from your notes on advanced exam strategies, specifically looking at that Unit IG1 stuff, which focuses on those longer open book type assessments.
Oh, absolutely. It's so common to misread a question, especially, under pressure or when you're faced with a really detailed scenario. What's great about this material, though, is that it lays out a very clear five-step strategy. It's specifically designed to stop that misinterpretation happening. Like you said, it's not just recalling facts, it's much more about applying knowledge intelligently and precise communication.
Okay, great. So let's dive into this five-step approach from your material. It's actually called the best way to approach exam questions. And the reason seems to be it really guides you to answer the question, the one they asked, and link it properly to the scenario they gave you.
That's the core challenge, isn't it? Your notes highlight this. People often answer the question they kind of wish was there or the one they prepared for instead of the one that's actually printed on the page. So yeah, this method, it's all about eliminating that specific, very common mistake.
Right. So, step one, read the scenario carefully. Now, that sounds almost too basic, doesn't it? But the material specifically warns, like, don't misread words, don't just skim because you're rushing to write. What's the real danger there? Is it just about getting a word wrong?
Well, it goes a bit deeper than just one word. It's often about our own biases, maybe. We go into an exam with ideas about what should be asked, and that can make us sort of project onto the scenario. We see what we expect, not what's actually written down. We miss keywords or crucial little details. And the danger is you end up writing a brilliant answer, but for a slightly different question, or maybe applying it to a subtly different situation than the one described. And then, well, you just don't get the marks. It's about active reading, really looking for what is there, not just confirming what you thought would be there.
Active reading. I like that. Okay, so you've properly absorbed the scenario. Then you turn to the question itself. Step two. Look at the task or the question. And this is interesting, all its parts. Your sources say later parts might actually help you understand the first part. How does that work?
Yeah, this is a really neat trick, often missed. So imagine a question, right? Maybe three parts. Part A asks you to explain X using scenario Y, but then maybe part C asks you to recommend Z based on X and Y. Suddenly, part C gives you a clue about the kind of depth needed for A, or the angle they want you to take. By scanning all the parts first, you get the bigger picture, the full scope of what they're after. It stops you kind of going off on a tangent on just one bit before you see how it all fits together.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, getting the whole picture first. So then, after grasping the question, step three is check the marks. The material says the marks tell you how much to write and how long to spend. Is it really that, well, direct?
It absolutely is. Think of it as your built-in timer and depth gauge.
Okay.
A question worth, say, 5 marks. You know they want concise points. Maybe 2 or 3 solid ideas, clearly explained. But a 20 marker. Okay, now you know you need to show broader understanding, more depth. Bring in more details from the scenario, maybe different angles. It guides not just how much you write, but the level of detail, the depth they expect. It's crucial for managing your time effectively, too. You don't want to spend ages on a low-mark question or rush through a high-value one.
Right, using the marks as a practical guide. Okay, so we've read the scenario carefully. We've looked at all parts of the question. We've checked the marks. What's step 4? It says, reread both the scenario and the task questions again. Why go back? Haven't we just done that?
It might seem repetitive, but it's actually a really crucial synthesis step. It's like a final confirmation loop for your brain. See, after you've analyzed the parts and the marks, your understanding might have shifted slightly or new connections might have formed. This reread lets you check that revised understanding against the original text. Did I drift? Am I still answering the actual question? Have I maybe misinterpreted something now I've thought about the marks? It's that last chance to sort of self-correct before you actually start writing the main answer. Catch any subtle misunderstandings.
Okay, a final sanity check, almost. Makes sense. And then finally, after all that careful groundwork, step 5 is drop a plan. Could be a list, a mind map, something quick to get your thoughts organized. How vital is this planning, especially if you're feeling the time pressure?
Oh, it's absolutely vital, maybe especially when you feel time crunched. It sounds counterintuitive, maybe, spending time planning when you need to be writing. But think about it. A quick plan, even just a few bullet points or a simple mind map, brings structure. It makes sure you cover all the points the question asks for in a logical order. It stops you rambling or repeating yourself, or worse, forgetting a key aspect you meant to include. Honestly, 5 minutes planning can save you 10 minutes of confused writing later. And for those longer, open book Unit IG1 type questions, where structure and clarity really count, a plan is pretty much essential. Your notes mention it helps manage that information overload feeling too. Gives you a roadmap.
Yeah, a roadmap. I like that. Avoids getting lost in your own answer. And you mentioned time. The source material also talks about monitoring your time, but it mentions it in the context of exams that might have a longer window, like 24 hours. That's interesting. How does having a big window like 24 hours change how you use this advice or how you think about time?
That's a great point. A 24-hour window, which you see in some of these open book professional exams, like the Unit IG1 ones, it completely changes the dynamic of time management. It's not about frantic, nonstop writing against the clock. It allows for strategic pauses. You can draft an answer, then step away, have lunch, maybe even sleep on it. Then you come back with fresh eyes. That reread step 4, it becomes incredibly powerful then. You might spot errors or think of better examples or just refine your argument in a way you simply couldn't in a standard short exam. So time awareness in this context means scheduling not just writing time, but planning time, break time, and really crucial review time before you finally submit. It's all about ensuring the final quality is as high as possible.
Okay, so pulling this all together for everyone listening, what this deep dive shows us, using your own learning materials, is a really methodical step-by-step way to approach exams. It's about being deliberate, slowing down a bit at the start to really understand, checking the details, planning your attack before you write a single word of the actual answer. There's a reason it's called the best way. It seems designed to stop you falling into those common traps.
Exactly. The big takeaway, I think, is that exam success isn't always just about what you know. It's often more about how well you show you understand what's being asked. The system, this 5-step approach, it's really a lesson in precision. It empowers you to demonstrate your knowledge effectively in the way the examiner actually wants to see it.
Precision. That's a good word for it. So here's something for you to think about, a final thought to sort of mull over. How could this structured 5-step way of tackling complex questions and planning your response, how could that apply outside of exams? Could you use a similar method to, say, break down a tricky problem at work? Or maybe prepare for a difficult negotiation, even just figuring out how to approach a challenging conversation in your personal life. Something to think about. We really hope this deep dive helps you feel a bit more prepared, maybe more confident, for whatever learning challenge is next for you.